Hey, it's Nay, and welcome back to Nay's Little Garden and Home. So, my gardener haul, seed haul. No, it's not really a seed haul, but I ordered 3 things from MI Gardener, and they all have arrived. So the first things first, MI Gardener is having 40% off right now off of all of their seed packets. That basically just means that they're very, very cheap. MI Gardener is one of, if not the most affordable, but definitely one of the most affordable seed companies, garden companies online. Their seed packets are typically about $2. And now they're 40% off, so they're even cheaper. I also have pretty good germination rates with most of MI Gardener's stuff, as well as I have ordered a few of their bush, like fruit bush type stuff, like their blackberries. I'm harvesting blackberries off of it this year. I ordered it last year. So I would say I enjoy the company. It is a small business. Listen, I'm starting to hear a lot of different discourse about the multiple different seed companies out there. So do your own research and shop with what makes you feel comfortable. Anyway, I have these 3 things that I got from them. I only got 1 seed because I really don't need any more seeds. I just was interested in having this because I do like a pretty tomato. This is the Anas Noir tomato. I am not a big green tomato girly pop. That's just not my ministry. It's just not for me right now. That's not to say it won't ever be for me. 5 to 6 years ago, you could not convince me. I would have been slicing up a tomato and putting it on a buttered sourdough slice of bread with a little sea salt and some black pepper and eating that like that. But I am. So things change, but as of right now, I'm just not really big on green tomatoes for a couple reasons. But the primary reason is I am still doing a lot of learning when it comes to gardening, and I just don't feel the need to add a stress of what a ripe green tomato is. But this, it is green, but you can still kind of see on the exterior reddish blushing happening. And because as the gardening season goes on, like now, right, we're in the 10s of August already. August just hit and we're about to be in the teens of August, which is very intense. I'm saying all that to say, since about like the last week of July, maybe even the last 2 weeks of July till now, I'm just kind of getting stuff as they're blushing. So this is something I don't think I would have an issue with missing that it's ripe. All of that to say, this is known as the black pineapple's unique and visually striking heirloom variety. This indeterminate tomato produces large beefsteak type fruits that typically weigh between 1 to 1.5 pounds. The tomatoes have a distinctive appearance with a green exterior and vibrant red, yellow, and purple hues inside. The flavor is complex and rich, offering a sweet and slightly tangy taste with hints of citrus. This is a later days to maturity tomato, about 85, but I'm not mad about it. I just want to have this in my collection. I don't even know if I'll be adding this into my garden next year. I am zone 6, so there's no tomatoes that I'm starting from seed now. My fall tomatoes that I planted a few weeks ago are now producing green tomatoes, so they will ripen sometime in September probably. So that's very exciting. I just wanted to have this in my collection. That's all. Moving on, the next 2 things I got were fertilizers. I do have enough granular fertilizer, this exact granular fertilizer, to fertilize my garden one more time, maybe even twice, but I wanted to get my fertilizer for next year now. I am not here to fearmonger anyone. Do what's comfortable for you as well as what your budget allows. I just know how I am, and I prefer to get things in advance. It causes me less stress than to when I need it, I have to buy it, and any reason that could cause it so I can't buy it will stress me out. So some of my favorite fertilizer is in fact from MI Gardener. I find my garden just yields really well. Listen, when too much rain happens and all of those good things, or the sun is just sunning, things start dying. And yet I'm still harvesting a ton of produce. And I found in the last 2 years since starting the MI Gardener fertilizer, my garden has just been doing really well, and I'm finding a lot more life in my soil. What does that mean? I'm finding much more worms. Okay, I'm sure people have something to say about the little pill bugs, but when I see insects, grasshoppers, what? Grasshoppers? Insane. So ladybugs, and then of course pests we don't per se. Oh, lots of bumblebees. The honeybees are here. I'm actually seeing a lot less wasps, I think, because of the honeybees and the bumblebees. They're just taking up more space. So that could be a multitude of reasons why these things are happening. I do also toss in bone meal, blood meal, and I think I did my first year some feather meal as well. When it comes to my seed starting, I mix all of that into the cocoa core that I use to start my seeds, which then makes its way into my garden, which I think also helps my garden. And I do every, maybe once or twice max, but it does something, put that stuff directly into my garden. And when we do see worms like underneath the grow bags, like when we go to lift the grow bags, we see a bunch of worms, we will put them into the raised beds. And listen, worm castings is, I feel like, a gardener's best friend. I toss worm castings everywhere, but the best worm castings, I feel like, is directly from the worms. So that's that. I'm saying all that to say I just want to have the fertilizer in case there's a price jump, in case things go out of stock. I'm noticing a lot more people are gardening, including me, right? And slowly growing our garden. And with that, there's more demand for things, which means things go out of stock more. It does take a little while for these smaller businesses to restock, as well as, listen, sometimes when you see that there's more need for something, the price does go up because the demand is higher, right? So I just got it what it is. The first thing was this Trifecta Plus. The NPK is 5-10-4, which I believe, for me personally, is just working well. And there's a bunch of non-plant food ingredients in here that I think helps more with the actual soil than directly the plant, which indirectly helps the plants. You can look up, there's 1,000,001 different fertilizers out there. Do what you would like to help with your plants. But I also enjoy this because he gives very specific instructions. Now, do I always listen to these instructions to the T? No, I'm not telling you to follow behind me. Follow the directions. So like they're saying here, seedlings 3 tablespoons per gallon of soil. I'm gonna be honest, I will grab a handful in a bin full of my cocoa core and toss it in there. That might be 3 tablespoons, it might be 4. It's around it. Then when you're doing heavy feeding plants, a quarter cup per plant. Y'all, I really be going by the handfuls and tossing them, another handful and tossing them. So follow the directions, but that's kind of what I do. And I feel like I'm not dramatically harming my plants because I do keep in mind what this says, and because it's so easy to understand and read, it is what it is. The other thing, I went and got the big boy of the Reviver X. It says emergency fertilizer, but I use this as my liquid fertilizer if I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I love this stuff. This is the biggest one I've ever gotten. I usually get their 32 ounce. I've gone through 2 of them in the last 2 years. That might be more than I needed to use on my garden. It might not. Something I can say is my green stalks and my grow bags, in my humble opinion, need more fertilizer than per se my raised beds, because I just feel like when you have rain coming through, especially a decent amount of rain, that it washes out the nutrients, and there's no way for those things to replenish their nutrients. So I do go ahead and liquid fertilize those things. I also, when I put in this fertilizer, I will go on top with this to water it in and to give those plants a little boost. And I do feel as if that is why I'm growing a lot more produce than I have ever grown in my life. Obviously, I am growing slowly adding more raised beds and all those things for sure, but also there comes a point where it's more about how you take care of the plants that you're taking care of. And I'm finding that those plants, now that I'm taking care of them better, they are producing more per plant. So now I'm hitting slowly that point where I feel as if I can grow less of some of my favorite things and still yield a really good amount. Right now, I am swimming in tomatoes on a consistent basis, and I'm not mad about it. That just means that, and I've said this in previous videos, I can grow about 10 less tomato plants in my garden. Next year, maybe even 15. We're gonna see how I feel about that. The reason why I'm saying that is because I want also to be drowning in peppers, sweet peppers. I find it very easy to grow spicy peppers because on average, the spicy peppers are definitely smaller than the sweet peppers. So the plant can just put on a lot more peppers. I need more pepper plants. At least 10 to 15 more pepper plants. And I do have a raised bed that I only half filled. So that back part of that raised bed will in fact be able to take in more pepper plants. And I think I'm going to dramatically slow down. Like the 10 tomato plants I'm gonna take out are gonna be from the grow bags. Even at 20 gallons, I'm not saying you don't get tomatoes. You definitely do. But whereas the raised beds will yield me anywhere from 10 to like 60 tomatoes on the cherry tomato side in the raised beds, the grow bags will yield me like 3 to 10. So for me, because I have enough raised beds now, I don't need to be taking up a grow bag that could grow me a good amount of peppers, especially since the tomato cages just do better for peppers over tomatoes. My beautiful orange oxheart still yielded me a couple of those orange oxhearts, but I definitely, let's say I've harvested about 3 or 4 of them. They are big, they're big. But last year I grew it on my arch trellis and I got about, I think 6 to 9 of those. So you know what I mean? So that, do with that what you will. Anyway, this is a 911, okay? NPK, whereas the other one is the 5-10-4. So you see it just does, it prioritizes different. And I also think that also works in favor of my plants. The Trifecta Plus, or the solid fertilizer, this is something I use a lot less than the liquid fertilizer. I do this about 3 times. So like I'll do it in the beginning, in the fall, in the spring, excuse me. I'll definitely do it sometime in the summer, and I'll do this again right before the fall hits. But I'm gonna be honest with you, there's been a time or two where I'll just take not even a full handful, like a little scoop, to put across my entire raised beds when I pull crops that I know I have definitely been eating up some of the ingredients, and that's that. But yeah, so I ended up getting the biggest one because I just feel like the 32 ounce I finished, this is 128. This is a lot. So I basically gone through one of the 32 ounce last year and the one of the 32 ounce the year before, I believe. So that's 64 ounces, even with the extra, because I still have to water soluble one more time at minimum my garden before the frost, because my garden has grown, so you need a little more fertilizer. Even if I used 55 ounces, this is gonna last me at least 2 years, which makes me feel happy. So if next year I look at it and the price had to go up, I could choose to get another one of these, or I could choose not to, and it's gonna be just fine. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know how you guys feel about fertilizers. I know that it's a touchy subject, honestly, in the gardening community, because some people prefer to have like compost. And I have put a little bit of the Black Cow in my garden this year. That also could have helped. I find, and this is just me personally, especially since I try to cultivate the insects that are beneficial in my garden, I find that when it comes to price, the prices that people say online that I would need for my garden, it doesn't match up and it gets very expensive. Versus, actually, I can tell you the prices that I just spent for these things. And I am seeing a growth. I know some people don't. So this is the smallest bag. This is the 3-pound bag, and this is $11. Why didn't I get the 6-pound? I think I didn't get the 6-pound because this lasted, I feel like my last one lasted me a year and a half. But they have 6-pound, 3-pound, 6 pounds, and 15-pound bulk bags. I definitely would not need the 15-pound bulk bag. But yeah, so that's that. And then my internet is glitching right now. So this is the Reviver Plus. Actually, let me see if I can find the iPad. All right, so I've been getting the 32 ounces. That is $13. And then the 1 gallon I got is $25. So obviously, the bigger you get, the more you save per ounce type of vibe. But I live on a 1/4 acre, which means I'm gardening on less than 1/8 of an acre, and this is all working very well for me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Let's talk about fertilizers, soil amendments, compost, all of that. I haven't gotten to the point of getting a compost bin or a worm bin. I don't know if I'll do a compost bin, at least not, definitely not next year. Maybe I'll do a worm bin. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.